This is my new car. I mean, there's nothing new about it. It's quite old. But it's new to me, and I love it. I do have one gripe with it though. For something called a Mini, it's just quite big really. So I bought another car. One that really lives up to its name. The Mini. Just £25 from Facebook Marketplace. What a deal. It sports plastic wheels, 6 volts of lead acid power, and a single brushed motor. Features include an on-off switch, forward and reverse gear, and a steering wheel that steers. Perfect. To my surprise, fitting my 31-year-old arse into the seat proved easy enough. The axles didn't snap straight away either. The power on the other hand, well, it's just not quite enough. So today we're going to soup this bad boy up. Money's a little tight at the minute. I did just buy 2 cars after all, so we're doing this on the cheap. Rooting around the garage, this 18-volt drill battery seems like a great idea to get some more speed out of the thing. I could borrow the M365 battery, but that's 36 volts, so let's not turn the Mini into a fireball just yet. The foot pedal on the Mini is just an on-off switch, so to give us some more speed control, I picked up this PWM motor controller from Amazon. It's quite simple. You plug your battery leads into the input terminals, motor wires into the output, and the potentiometer on the side adjusts the output voltage. This one came with a 30 amp fuse and some 12 gauge wire, which is nice. And there's an additional 30 amp mini fuse internally. Pretty damn safe by my standards. My Bosch drill battery has a few different terminals, but we only need the positive and negative. They're clearly marked on the housing. To connect it up, I used the included fused wire and some black 12 gauge. I just exposed some wire, tinned the end, and flattened it out with a hammer. Then it can easily be slotted into the positive and negative terminals on the drill battery. It's actually a fairly sturdy connection, but if you want it to be more secure, you could wax some tape over there or 3D print something. On the Mini, I just pulled out the 6-volt battery and chopped off the connector, stripped the ends and connected it to the motor controller. Boom, it works, no smoke or anything. The speed difference is pretty significant, as you can see, and the speed controller seems to be working great. Long term, I expect that running at 18 volts is probably going to fry something, but luckily the internals are very simple. No circuit boards or anything to worry about. In theory, the motor controller should help somewhat by allowing us to slowly ramp up the voltage rather than surging the full 18 volts every time the pedal is pressed. Speaking of the pedal, I'm over 6 foot. There's no way I can get my foot down there, so I have to use my hand, which is not ideal. My first idea was to add one of these little toggle switches to the dashboard. They matched the styling of the real Mini, and I could just flick it on and use the motor controller to control the speed. Unfortunately, after wiring it up and blowing a fuse, I quickly realised there's no way to do this without a relay circuit. So instead I'll use this toggle switch for the inevitable LEDs that we had in the future. My pedal solution became a lot more simple. Cable tie that bitch. With the pedal always on, we can use the key switch to turn the car on or off, and the potentiometer for the speed. To make the speed control easily accessible, I extended the wires from the motor controller using some random wires I had lying about. I gave myself a lot of slack for flexibility, but I didn't end up needing anywhere near that length. I routed the cables underneath the battery compartment and drilled a hole on the left-hand side of the body. I bored it out to the right size and tightened it down. Then cable tied all my slack cable to keep things neatish. Now I can keep my right hand on the steering wheel and the left can adjust the speed. Nice. So it would seem that we're done. Time for a test drive. But as you can see, after ramping up the voltage, it keeps cutting out. I tried a few things, including wiring the controller directly to the motor, just in case the pedal or the gear stick switch assembly was interfering in some way, but no joy. In the end, it could only be the controller. I'm still a bit puzzled as the fuses aren't blowing, but it seems once you exceed a certain wattage, it triggers some kind of safety thing. Or it's faulty, who knows. I imagine with a lighter rider this controller would work just fine. With my fat arse on it, it's just not up to snuff. So instead I went super simple. Back to the original wiring, pedal cable tied down, just using the key switch to turn it on and off. Basically just swapping the 6-volt battery for my drill battery with an inline fuse. What do you know? It works. So now my switch and speed control knob do absolutely nothing. But hey, it's pretty quick now. Probably only about 8 miles per hour or so, but it sure feels quick when you're precariously balanced on a child's toy. So that's it for this time. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of this project. Next time we're going to work on the aesthetics a bit, and maybe later we'll do a full motor conversion and get some real speed out of the thing. Till next time, toodles.